Shalom is one of my favorite words in the Hebrew language. It's often used as a greeting. You go up to your homie and you're like, yo, shalomi, my homie. And you can use it as a hello or a goodbye. But it also carries a much deeper meaning. It's about peace, rest, and completion. This is the final episode of my 3-part series exploring joy, hope, peace, and how God's sovereignty connects all these things so they can build upon one another, starting in the general epistles and expanding to the broader New Testament. See, if you have joy, you can have hope for the future and trust that it will be good. If you have hope, you can have peace within that hope because hope offers certainty. And if you have peace, you can take joy in the rest that peace provides. Now, let's talk about peace. A lot of the time when we think about peace, we think about escaping noise, distractions, or the hurry life forces on us. There's so much anxiety about doing. We rarely get the rest we truly need. And when we miss that rest, it affects our relationship with God. In Matthew 11, verses 28 to 30, Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." See, Jesus is inviting us to come to him and take on his yoke, which means submitting to him, trusting his control, and laying our burdens down at his feet. Peter then goes on to lean into this in his letters, and he writes in 1 Peter 5, verses 6 to 7, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." Something that I find really interesting here is that Peter was a fisherman. And so when he says to cast your anxiety, I can't help but imagine him with a huge fishing net that's like really heavy, if you've ever seen a fishing net, and he has to throw it overboard. And that's what he's telling us to do with our anxiety. See, it's not gently placing something down, but lifting something mighty and heavy and hurling it at God's feet. It takes effort, and it's intentional. That's what it looks like to truly give our burdens to God. God desperately wants us to have peace. He wants us to live in shalom. Not just surviving, but resting in his control, rather than being overwhelmed by the world. When we relinquish control and trust in God's sovereignty, incredible things happen. The dread and pressure we carry becomes lighter. We find rest in him. And from that rest, we build a deeper, fuller relationship with him. That's when we begin to experience shalom in its truest form. Because the peace God gives isn't just the absence of noise. It's the presence of rest, not escape, but rootedness. And when we have that peace, the kind that transcends all understanding, we can rely on God more fully. We see him more clearly. We become rooted in him, and we begin to experience a complete relationship with him.